Hello everyone! Today I'll be demonstrating how to work with the object creation system. Our goal in this tutorial is to create an inventory system only in Blueprint. Let's dive right in. I have created an actor called Box that will act as a physical item in the world. When a player overlaps the box, it will teleport to a new location. We want our inventory system to contain objects and not actors. That will represent the item, and we want all players to know how many boxes they have picked up. As an extra feature, we are also gonna make so all players will have a map with all items added, so we can search for them faster. The first step is to create the item object. It is good practice to create a base object with all common function that we can later inherit from when creating our items. So first, create a blueprint class, search for custom object, and select the custom object base, and name it item base. Open it up. The first thing we want to do is to add the events. There are two events we can add, on added and on remove. On added is called on the server and client when the object is created. It is also called for clients that join later. This is where you want to perform the setup or the initialization. On remove is called on the server and client just before the object is about to be removed. This is where you clean up the object, remove stuff that you have created and such. In class defaults, you have the replication policy. This is basically if you want the item to be able to replicate, you set it to replicate. All we need for our item is a variable that will specify the amount of the item and some kind of a name, an identifier. For the variable, we shall have an integer. We're gonna call it amount. As the name, we can just use a name and call this name. Because we want all players to be able to know about the amount, we need to replicate it. So we can select rep notify. In the on rep amount, I have also added some visualizing for the amount and the name. To visualize that an item has been added and removed, in the events we can call the print string, we can drag out the name, can create an append, Okay, so now we want to create our real item. So we create a blueprint class, but this time we search for the parent item base, select it. We can call this item underscore blue box and open it up. As name we can call it blue box. All objects need to be stored somewhere, so we're gonna create a container. I'm going to create a blueprint class. I'm going to search for custom object container. This is a custom actor component, so we can later add it to any actor of our choice. Let's call this inventory and open it up. Here we have two events. We have onCustomObject added and onCustomObject removed. Both are called on the server and client. So here is where we're gonna create our map. So first we're gonna create a map which contains the item base. As a key, we're going to use the name, and as a value, we're going to use the item base. Now on the onCustomObject added, I should name it to something, item map, and we can drag it out and add. Because we know that the inventory will always have item base, we can cast the object base here to the item base. And we can just add it. And same on remove, but we remove it. Here, because the key is a name, we can get the name from the item base. And same up here, we have to specify the name as the key. And that's it. We have that replicated map. Now we should create some functions so we can work with our item base. Here we can now use our map. We can use we can use our find. The hasOwnerAuthority is a function for the custom object container that will check if the owner fits the security policy. In class defaults, you will have a security policy. This basically tells who can modify the container. By default, it is set to server only, which means only the server can add and remove objects. In our function incrementAmount, it means that only the server will be able to call this function. If you want the container to be local, so clients can add and remove objects, You can set it to either client only or all. So now our system is done, but we still need it to be added to an actor. Because we want it to replicate, or an inventory to replicate to all players, the player state actor is a good choice. So let's create a custom player state. And don't forget to edit. In here we can now add our inventory container. First, we only want the server to add items. So we add an authority switch. Then from the inventory, we're gonna use or call the add custom object. And as class, we're gonna select item blue box. Now, every time a player joins, each player state will have an inventory with a blue item added, both on client and server. But right now they are all set to 0 in amount, so let's go back to the actor box and fix it. So on the overlap we will take the actor that is overlapping and we're gonna cast it to a character. From the character we're gonna get the player state. And we have to cast the player state to the custom player state we created. And now we can get our inventory. Now we just will call the increment amount function, and as item name we're gonna select the same we set here, blue box. So now I'm playing as the client and I will take the box, and as you can see the player state has been updated for the client. So now he has 2. So this is a listen server. He also has his own player state, so when we pick it up it should say 1. And if we pick up one more, 2. And let's pick up one more and one more. So now the listening server has 4 of the item. And the client, he had 2, so when he picked it up it should say 3. So we see that the replication is fully working. So as you can see, working with the object creation system in Blueprint is not very hard. You get to create UObjects in Blueprint, and replication and memory management is done for you, as long as you clean up your own stuff you create inside the objects. I hope this tutorial has helped you to understand the framework better, and if you have any questions, feel free to write a comment or have a chat in my Discord. Bye!